Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Security Nuggets podcast. I'm your host, Ashley, and as always, I'm very happy to see you here. Welcome. Now, I'm kind of excited about what we're going to be talking about today because, on a personal note, it is something that has impacted on my professional career growth because I was able to work for organizations that were keen on implementing it. And through it, I was able to acquire an achievement track record, and I was able to not only do what was expected of me in regards to my roles, but I was able to exceed expectations. Okay, so what are we talking about today? Remember, we have been talking about how organizations can get to nurture and build a security risk awareness culture within their organizations. And we started off by saying that the first goal would be to create and develop a security risk awareness program where all these things would be put, all these aspects will be incorporated, okay? And we've been talking about security training. We talked about role modeling, and we talked about engagement and integration. And today we're talking about empowerment, employee empowerment. Now, if you work in an organization that implements employee empowerment, then you know what I'm talking about. And when we can utilize empowerment in the context of utilizing employee empowerment to nurture a security risk awareness culture, then you actually get to optimize on just giving employees a little bit of control and to make decisions in regards to security risk matters. Now, we have to be very careful when it comes to employee empowerment because as much as we want to give that degree, as long as we want to give that control, we also want to be careful so that that control is not misused and we end up having problems, okay? So how can employee empowerment be implemented to help us further our goal of nurturing a security risk awareness culture within organizations? How can we get to do that? Whereby we're implementing it within the right parameters and the extent of the degree of empowerment that we are extending to employees is not too much, and it is not at risk to be misused, right? We are not exposing ourselves as an organization too much. How can we get to do that? Remember, we've been talking about how security is not supposed to be isolated or managed as a standalone function, how security is supposed to be a collaborative effort, how we are supposed to manage security, including everybody and involving everybody within the organization. Remember, we've been talking about that. So let's see how we can get to empower employees so that they can be in a better position to make security decisions and also to do their work as far as security processes and procedures are concerned. Now, we need to start by cultivating that shared responsibility, okay? Instead of security being a core role and responsibility that is supposed to be met by the security department alone, we want to cultivate a shared responsibility and make sure that we are communicating to the rest of the organization that, look, security is not just the responsibility of the security department and security employees. It is now the responsibility of everybody, and we are going to share that responsibility. We are going to share that responsibility. Now, how are we going to share that responsibility? With emphasis to making sure that these roles we are sharing and responsibilities are within the right parameters, because we don't want to give away control and let that control be misused, okay? So we have to be very careful how we delegate. When we empower certain roles, security roles, to certain employees within the organization, to what extent are we giving them that control? What are they expected to do? Where are the parameters? What is it they're expected to do, and what is it they're not expected to do? Okay, so to guide us do that, we definitely need to adopt policies. Okay, the responsibilities that we are delegating, and by so doing empowering these employees, the responsibilities that we're delegating, they have to be managed and controlled within a certain set of policies. Okay, now the policies will dictate very clearly, okay, the purpose of the roles, the objectives of those roles, and they will clearly lay down the procedures and processes that are required to assist these employees undertake those security risks, security roles and responsibilities. So we're not just going to give verbal instructions and give verbal authority or verbal control. It's got to be documented, okay, so that it can be better, it can be a better guide to employees. They need to be directed properly and guided properly through the policies that this is what we want employees to do, and this is how we want them to do it. Okay, and these are the parameters, the areas where they should not exceed that control, because again, we don't want them to misuse that control, okay? And by so doing, we will be spreading and sharing that, responsibility of security. We shall be making sure that security practices and measures and processes are not just being done by the security function, where we have the security personnel and all that, but now security responsibilities and practices are also going to be carried out by some or all the members of, or the employees of an organization, okay? So that is one of the things that we can do to make sure that we are utilizing employment as a strategy, just to make sure that we are building and nurturing this security risk awareness culture within the organization, okay? Now, what else can we do to empower employees? We can also share as much information as we can in regards to the threats that the organization is probably facing, and besides even sharing information on security, organization security, we can also share information in regards to personal security, okay? Let employees know what's good for them security-wise, even when they are not within the organization. When they are out there within their own personal spaces, like when they are at their home residences, or when they are traveling for holidays, or when they are walking on the streets, like what are the things that they need to do and not do just to enhance on their personal safety and security, okay? This is the information we need to share and be very generous with it, okay? Share as much information as you can. Now, some organizations have what we call intranets. They have like an online library where information is put and anybody can access. Every employee within an organization has access to that platform, and they can access different sort of informations from whatever department. Now, this is the opportunity for the security function to demonstrate that it is its intention to share as much information as possible to the rest of the organization employees by putting in so much advisory information there, okay? Let there be information there, okay? And even when there are things happening out there in the world or within your region of operation, and some of it is maybe some intel about some some security stuff happening outside the organization, even when it doesn't have to target the organization, as long as it's something that's happening within the region and it might impact on your personal employees, then it is worth sharing in that kind of platform. If you don't have an intranet, then you can or a company website where you can have a blog of some sort, then you can use the emails. You can use emails for that. You can use like a newsletter as well. You can have like a security newsletter, which you can be doing like weekly or monthly and just sharing this within the organization. Just the point is to make sure that we are circulating as much information as we can. Can get to utilize and leverage on is rewarding and recognizing our employees when they do a good job in regards to security matters or security practices, okay? Let's have a reward, a sort of recognition and reward program going on, okay? Now, when someone does something of value in regards to maybe they've stopped a risk, a threat from actualizing, maybe they've reported and that information has helped in thwarting an incident from occurring, or they've shared information and they have helped in making an improvement in a certain area that may have been exposed and it was vulnerable to attack. That sort of information, or just doing a good deed that saved someone, or doing a good deed that saved a life, doing a good deed that saved an asset from being destroyed or sabotaged. Just reward employees when they do good, because it's very cognitive in the sense that it really makes them happy and it gives them morale, and they just enjoy being part of the security effort, okay? So just give them rewards and recognize those efforts. Recognize those efforts when they do a good job, when they perform well, and they help in reducing risks to as low as reasonably practical. Reward them for that. Recognize their effort for that, because it empowers them and it motivates them. Everyone in the employee will be working towards earning that recognition or earning that reward or bonus, whatever it is you have in place, okay? So have those rewards in place, okay? And it might be money in form of monetary value or not, give them cash or give it vouchers, give them recognition certificates, whatever awards you're coming up with, okay? But do something, okay? Show them that you care about the security effort. Show them that security goals are important within the organization, and if they go beyond their expectations, if they go beyond what is expected of them, then the company is going to reward them and recognize them for them. So let's have a reward and recognition program going on there, because it ultimately aims to empower employees, all right? Now, last but not least, we need to empower employees who are in the security function, who are very central in making sure that security is being implemented, integrated, and included. Now, these are the forefront. They are on the forefront when it comes to security. And most of them are frontline officers, okay? We are talking about those security officers. We are talking about those control room officers. We are talking about those dog handlers. I mean, we're talking about anybody who is working in the security department, okay? Empower them, okay, by one, making sure that they have the required skills to do their job. Give them the required skill set to do their job confidently, okay? Also, pay them well. Give them a good pay package. Pay them well, all right? So that they can feel empowered and motivated to go an extra mile when they are doing their job, okay? Now, listen, When it comes to security employees, we need to be very keen on how we are paying them and how much we are paying them. Because let me remember, their job comes with high risks. Okay? They're there protecting the organization critical assets. Okay? So when you pay them, consider the risk value. Consider the value of what they are there to protect. Obviously, it's more expensive. So don't pay them peanuts when they're there protecting assets that are worth millions and millions of dollars or shillings. Yeah. If they are there protecting very valuable assets, all right, pay them well. Let that risk match their pay package. Otherwise, you're going to have problems of them compromising. They're going to start working with adversaries, okay, because you are not paying them properly. Okay, they're going to start working with adversaries. They're also going to not like their job. So they're going to work with very low levels of morale. Okay, that's not empowering them. Okay. And you might also have to deal with the problem of a very high turnout. That means everybody will be wanting to leave your organization or department very quickly to go to greener pastures because what you're paying them is not commensurate to the job that they're doing. Okay, so this is another area where we need to look at and optimize on it when we are looking at empowering employees and utilizing empowerment as a strategy that can help us nurture the security risk culture within the organization. Similarly, when it comes to enhancing the skills of security personnel, let them give them more skills than just what is incorporated within security. Let them do more. Because remember, when there is an emergency or an incident, a lot of times the security personnel act as frontline workers. They are the first responders. So let them know how to carry out first aid skills, so that if there's an emergency or an accident, they can be able to give first aid treatment to victims as they wait for the paramedics to arrive or as they wait for people to get to the hospital. Okay, and that way they can save a life. So they're doing much more and they're giving more value, and that's a good empowerment. And also firefighting. In case there's a fire emergency, they can know how to respond to that. They can know how to evacuate employees, and they can guide them and control them and get to direct them to the right assembly points. Remember, when there is emergencies and crises, people tend to panic. People tend to panic, and even sometimes, even after doing so many drills, you still find that sometimes people just tend to panic. So when you have security personnel who are well trained and skilled on emergency response and evacuation, then they chip in, they step up, and they actually control the situation, and they're able to save lives, and they're able to manage some of these incidences. Okay, so that we don't have to deal with loss incidents where we are losing life or we are losing property and all that. Okay, so those are the things we need to do when we are looking at empowering our security personnel within the security function. So in conclusion, uh, if we want to achieve our goal of enhancing a security risk awareness culture within our organization, and by so doing, get to our objective of, the security goal objective that we are having, then as an organization, we need to optimize on employee empowerment. And we can get to utilize on those things that we have discussed, okay? Sharing responsibilities, sharing information, rewarding and recognizing employees when they do a good job on matters security, and also appraising our security personnel within the security department by making sure that we are paying them well and fairly, giving them a fair remuneration, and we are upskilling them and just giving them much more skills out beyond the usual basic security management training skills. Let them know how to do the first aid, the firefighting, the emergency response and evacuation, etc., etc. Give them more skills, all right, and empower them in that sense. I hope you found these enlightening. Can you like and share? Subscribe if you haven't done that yet. I'll appreciate it. And until our next episode, goodbye and thanks for watching.